Right, the epidural. Of course, sorry. I literally had to go back and to the video I just did to check what I'd been talking about. Get this out of the way. That was the wrong brush. That was not a clean brush. Well, if I go like this over here, too much. Yes. Blend it out. Yeah, the epidural. I was like, you know what? I want to push. I want to do that, and see how long it takes before I deeply regret not doing the epidural. Also, I was hoping that if I did have to do the epidural, that like I would be in enough pain that it would like override that jerk. Because if I cannot see the needle that is going into my skin, I will jerk. You know, I'll tell a nurse like, okay, hi, yeah, I've got a needle phobia. And they'll be like, okay. I'm talking about like nurses and lab techs, when taking blood or giving me a shot. And they'll be like, okay, just close your eyes, don't look. And I'm like, haha, boy, are you wrong. And I have to explain, I have to look, because if I don't, it's a bad time for everybody. That was a little burp there. Sorry, I apparently can't talk while putting eyeliner on. Give me a moment. Oh, and I'll tell you what this is. I'll make it even, bitch. Is that even enough? Whatever. You know what? It's close enough. There's this. It's like my eyebrows. They're sisters, not twins. Anyway. Oh, shoot. And there's a hanger on my thing. That's what my shirt was on. This is from Sephora, Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in deepest black. I also have the Better Than Sex Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof Mascara. It doesn't tell me the color exactly, but it's black. Fun hack. If you're poor like me, but you're like, there are certain things I think are worth splurging on, like mascara, and you want it to last longer, you just take a couple drops of your contact solution, and you just pour it right in there when it starts getting too clumpy, and you just put that in there and swoop it around. God, now it's gonna get all like, and the first time you put it on after that, it's gonna be real goopy. But like the next time it'll be fine. But yeah, so I have to watch a needle as it enters my skin, or else I will move. And I will not just move, I will violently move. Which is no bueno. Look, I'm starting to look human. And I don't know if you know this. From my perspective, it's common knowledge, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is. But an epidural is a big ass needle that they stick into your lower spine. into your lower spine, which I am not an owl. I cannot turn my head all the way around, so I can't watch it go in. I tried to ask for mirrors to be set up so that I could watch it go in, but they were like rushing, so that didn't happen. Which, if they knew now what they didn't know then, they probably would have. So I had seen in TikToks, Reels, YouTube videos, whatever. Hold on. About like women talking about their experiences with labor and delivery. And I'd seen, I think more than one that was like, hey, you should definitely ask for nitrous. Like, especially if you have anxiety, which ding, 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 or just want it. You should ask for nitro when they, like, when you have a baby. And I was like, when I went into labor and delivery, I didn't want to forget, so I told them right then. I was like, excuse me. Yeah, I said, excuse me. I said, I'm gonna want nitrous. And I know I told them again before I went in, I want the nitrous. My hope there was that, like, it would chill me out enough that, like, I wouldn't jerk when they put the needle in. Boy, was I wrong. I was like, and it's another one of those sensory things. There's something sharp being poked somewhere that you can't see. And so I just like, let's see, we're gonna be rather natural today. I don't know. These are slightly different. They just look exactly the same. This one. Yeah, so I was being held up by two women leaning because they tried to do an ECV first, which is where because my son wouldn't turn. He snuggled his head right up here, around middle to the end of my second trimester, and he just stayed there. And he didn't want to turn around. So an ECV, I don't remember what it stands for. Hang on, I don't want this to roll away. But they push, you've got 1 to 2 nurses on one side, 1 to 2 nurses on the other. I'm laying down, and they're pushing in opposite directions on your belly, to physically turn your baby, to turn him around. And what's supposed to happen is they get to like here, and then the baby's supposed to just sort of like naturally spring down. This is what happened. Do, let go, and his little head go, poing. They did it like 2 or 3 times. He would not turn, which is why I had to have the C-section, because he's a little turd. I love him. Okay, this is going on my mouth. It's Sephora brand. It's outrageous. Plump effect. I don't know. It's like a lip plumper. Yeah, it says 01 on the bottom. It's uncolored. However, it does have a bit of shade on it because I have put it over lipstick before. But yeah, so they were trying to give me the epidural, and they'd like count down and stuff, you know, for what good that's worth. And then go to push it in, put the needle in. Ooger. I jerked every time. You know, they go 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and I go, ugh. And despite how still I was trying to be, but, and, we're just gonna let that sit for 2 seconds, and I'm gonna talk. And it took them a lot of tries, and they kept telling me, they were very clearly starting to get frustrated towards when they finally got it. And you could tell they were getting frustrated. Eventually they got it, and again, I think that if they knew now what they had not known then, I know that's not the phrase, but that's what we're going with right now, because my brain is not doing words real great right now. By the fact that I've taken so long and I've said so many times. I'm sorry. So I jerked every time. They finally got it in, and it did what it does. Again, this is for anybody that doesn't know. When they do a C-section, they have to do an epidural, because what the epidural does, at least in cases of labor and delivery, because epidurals are used for other purposes. Like my mom used to get epidurals for her pain, and she'd walk around just fine because she wasn't in pain. And what it does is it takes so they put it in your spine. It's like right here-ish, I don't know. It's at the bottom. Look, much better now. No, not really. Sorry, I have a curvature in my spine down here. It's not like I'm popping my butt out. This is just the natural curve of my spine, which I have to, I think it's the shape of my pelvis. Anyway, doesn't matter. Maybe that's why he wouldn't turn. Anyway, so the epidural takes everything below that spinal spot and, you know, the circumference or whatever, and below, and numbs it. You could chop off my leg. I would not know. And I got the nitrous because I was super anxious. So I was high. It was great. And I couldn't feel my belly. But again, how a C-section is done, for those who do not know, they put up, I'm laying down in this situation. There is a plastic partition put up over your belly so that you cannot look up and see your insides on the outside. Ask me nicely and sometime I'll show you my scar. It's pretty easy to see when I'm not wearing black and being recorded, because there's a huge dent in my body where it is. And so they cut you open through all the stuff, and they pull out a tiny human, make sure he's okay, and well, different people make sure he's okay, and then while the first cutty opie people close it all up, the slice, not my yeah, just say no to the husband stitch, guys, which was not a problem for me because they wouldn't let me push, which, okay, he wouldn't let me push, my boy, because he wouldn't turn. So that's how they do it. That's how they do C-section. The part that not everybody knows, because I feel like that's pretty common knowledge. They cut you open, yank a human out, put you back together. What not everybody knows is that you are awake the whole time. I'm gonna let that sink in for those who didn't know while I put this on my mouth. You're awake the whole time, which is the reason for the glass it's not glass, it's plastic, for the partition, so that you can't see. I didn't want to be cut open. Am I mad in a way that's like, negligence, doctor malpractice. No, because it wasn't. I had to be cut open. If I could have done it the other way, I would have. I wanted to really bad. Mostly because I didn't want that big old needle. But also because I really wanted to test myself without the needle, you know? And look, hey, look. I'm pretty now. Yeah. And then going back to the original topic, which was my weight and my body issues, which was all started because I was like, ooh, look at me, I'm wearing a crop top. Oh no, but she's thick. That was the thought process behind this whole thing. You have a baby, and then when your baby is a week old, you go back in and they give you a checkup. I'd been dangerous, like my weight gain had been a little dangerous, especially in the time period in which I'd gained it. And a week later, when I went in for my checkup, for our checkup, because he was getting checked up too, I had lost at least 30 pounds. I think it was closer to 40 pounds in a week, which was not bad, I guess. But also, extreme weight loss like that is not healthy, generally speaking. I don't know how healthy it is when it's a pregnancy thing, because I'll tell you, he was not a 40-pound baby. He was like 6 pounds. You know, he was like 6 pounds, 7 ounces, which I actually is the same as what I was, I think. I also had to be, that's my pantomime for a C-section. But that was a lot for me, just regarding weight. Like, not even taking into account the whole, there's a new human in the world, and I did that, sort of thing. I'm trying not to say but it's like getting in the way of my train of thought. So that was a lot for my weight. And the interesting thing is, not long before I found out that I was pregnant, and thus, you know, the journey began, I had started really feeling more comfortable in my body. I had gotten my weight down to where it was hovering between 200 and 210, which I was really proud of. I felt really good about it. And then I got pregnant. So great for that. And now it's been just over a year and I'm still struggling. I'm holding pretty steady at like between like 235 and 225-ish, which is not where I want to be. I want to just 199 actually would be great. Yeah, I prefer 198 because then it feels less like it's just a fluctuation. But the strange thing is that, let me put this back up for a sec. This, when I was skinny, despite the fact that this is still the same shape as I had when I was thin, it's just sort of been, you know, the edges, you know, like you take the edges when you're editing a photo and you're just like, and then it's just a little wider. My shoulders have always been broad, but I never would have worn, I don't think I ever was comfortable wearing things like crop tops, or definitely, I was an emo kid, so we didn't do high-waisted. We did, everything is low cut, which I think is part of why I wasn't really comfortable wearing crop tops, is because everyone gets a little tiny muff and tap when they're wearing low-rise jeans. Okay, most normal people do. A friend of mine in theater once said something to me that really stuck with me, and I think about a lot when it comes to my body issues. And we were on stage. I remember it, and I have a terrible memory, so you know it's important. We were on stage, and I don't remember how this conversation started. I think she'd given me a compliment or something about my body. You know, girls pulling up other women. And I was like, no, not really. I'm fat. I wasn't. Maybe I'll like put some pictures at the end of this if I'm feeling adventurous. But you know, my belly was flat. Oh God, those were the days. And then there was this little like dent in, like right here. It's like right here. You can see it. It was like this, but less extreme. Not out as far. It was actually probably about that size. But I was thinner. Everything was just smaller. And I was like, no, I'm fat. I mean, look at this. And I genuinely thought I was fat. I hated myself for a really long time for saying things like that and feeling that way, because I was like, oh, I'm probably just doing this for attention. And then I finally ended up having the body that I thought I had when I thought was skinny and thought I was fat, and realized, no, I really thought that. I don't know. That's better. That's more comfortable. But back to what she said to me, I was like, I pointed that out, and she was like, girl, that is nothing. That is, you are a woman of an age where your body thinks that you should be putting a baby in it. I was like 16 at the time. And she just flat out told me, she was like, that's not what that is. That is a female body. And at the time, I was like, oh, all right, yeah. But as I got older, and that statement stuck with me an indeterminate number of years, as I'm still holding on to it. And I have come to realize that is accurate. That's so true. That's just what it was. That's all it was. You know, and I should have let myself feel more confident. And I wish I could go back in time for just like one day and be confident in my body in a way that I try to feel confident in my body now. I definitely feel more confident in my body than I did when I first gained weight. And I think I definitely feel more confident in my body than I did when I was 16, 17, which is a shame because I liked that body better. If we could go back to that body, it would be great. But also, I'm not 16. And I'm a grown-ass lady. Physically, mentally, it depends on what's going on that day. But this is my body. Do I feel bad when those sizes on unregulated sized women's clothing is a higher number, or they don't have it that big in the store, or I have to go into plus sizes, which there's nothing wrong with that. but plus sizes don't fit my body the way non-plus sizes do that are in my size. I have sensory issues. We've talked about that. Most people with sensory issues, from what I understand, tend to hate tight, restrictive clothing. I love it. It feels very comfortable on my body, which is why I have to wear a pair of like hot pants or shorts under a skirt. Anytime I wear it, I have to have the leg of something. Otherwise, I don't feel, I feel weird. I don't like my entire thighs. I don't like my thighs touching at all. And that's not at all a weight thing. That's just a sensory thing. But when I go up into plus sizes, because my body is shaped the way they make like regular sizes, and the way they make the shape for plus sizes is different. The way regular sizes are shaped is different from the way plus sizes are shaped. There, I found those words. And the shape of my body fits more into that first category. Just thicker. It makes it really hard when I go up into plus sizes. Also, buying clothes online is super hard, especially when you're like, I'm poor, I'm going to order from Temu, or, you know, Shein, and, you know, the places you're not actually supposed to buy from, because it's fast fashion and it's bad for society and the environment. And I'm like, I understand that, but I can't emotionally take that on. And those have a lot of trouble fitting me because they're made trying to word how to say this. They're made for 12-year-old boys with large man pecs, if that makes sense. The places that they make these clothes, women my age tend to be the size and shape of my perception of a 12-year-old boy with very large man pecs. I got big here, I got big here, I got big here, and chicken wings. So, but I'm getting more okay with it. Anyway, shopping online is a nightmare. I have to go upstairs, and I've been making this video for too long. If you know of anywhere where I can buy clothes that, like, maybe in the store, or they show you very clearly in the online shopping that their sizes are larger but still shaped the way I describe, please let me know. I'm sorry I talked for so long. I will definitely break this video up. I know I didn't do that on the last one, but in my defense, I uploaded it at 2 a.m. So I'm nobody from nowhere, and there's no reason you should have listened to any of this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Have a good one.